What's going on, you guys? This is Dimension Scott back at you once again with a brand new video, and today I've decided to go back to a series I started on this channel a while ago. Movies I love, but everyone seems to hate. Before I get into today's video, if you're brand new to my channel and don't know what my videos are all about, I love talking about things I'm passionate about. Movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, video games. I also do Blu-ray hunting videos. If you're into all that type of stuff, you love physical media like me, you come to the right place. If you like what you see here, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you see. You can also find me on either Facebook or Instagram at, as usual, Dimension Scott. Okay, it's been quite some time since I've done one of these videos where I talk about some films that are really not so loved by the public and absolutely despised and call them the worst films ever made. But for myself, I find my own personal enjoyment out of them, and I come up with my reasons why I think they're better than what people make them out to be, at least what I feel like for myself. And I also did three other videos, so you can go check those videos out on the channel whenever you get a chance to. Okay, so after thinking about this for a while, after so long, I went with five titles out of my collection. Now, the way this works is I need to have the movie. I have to know what people were thinking about these movies and compared to the way I felt. So some reasons can be understandable. Some things I can agree with. Sometimes I just don't understand what they are coming from with their points of view of opinion. But we all have different opinions. Everyone's entitled to them, whether they love something or hate something. It's all subjective. All that matters is how you feel, really. So let's get into this new list, shall we begin? Kicking off this list with a 2018 film that came out back in the theaters. That was Venom. Venom is my favorite Marvel villains or anti-heroes, or depending on what comic books you ever read. But Venom, the movie here, people call it was the worst movie ever. It was so terrible. Blah blah blah. But for myself, I found Venom to be an entertaining blast Marvel movie because Tom Hardy plays Eddie Brock, this loser, and he meets this alien symbiote, and they become very close bros, and it has such great entertaining action, it has such great humor. I think Venom is such a funny character from start to finish. I had a freaking blast with this movie. I walked out of the theater like, I don't care what nobody says. That was so fun. At number 4, it was Solo, a Star Wars story here. Now, this movie came out, I think, that same year, but Solo came out after a controversy of another film, which I will get into. I think the reason why this movie did not gross so much at the box office because it was also released around that same time of year as Avengers Infinity War, which made all the money, almost $1 billion. But Solo was a movie that apparently no Star Wars fans was asking for, exploring the fan favorite character Han Solo's past, that would not be played by Harrison Ford because so many Star Wars fans are so attached to Harrison Ford. But for myself, I wanted to give it a chance because I enjoy Star Wars and I personally didn't mind it. Surprisingly, it wasn't that great of a film, but it was a fun little adventure about a young Han Solo with all these other talented cast of actors in the film as well. How he met Chewie, how he got the iconic coat, how he got his weapon, and all that was okay with me. I think I enjoyed the chemistry a lot between the Han Solo actor in this movie and his chemistry relationship with Emilia Clarke, which I also enjoyed in this movie. I really wish they took things more explored in something they were probably setting up, because there are a few questions left unanswered, and unfortunately, because this movie wasn't that well received, it didn't do so well, and just so much boycotting surrounding it, I don't think we'll never see any answers to what they left question. At number 3, that is Thor: Love and Thunder. So many said this movie was a complete joke from start to finish, with screaming goats and cancer, sickness. It's all just a joke, and they did Christian Bale's character not so great in this movie. They did him dirty. But for me, I enjoyed that Thor, played once again by Chris Hemsworth, gets to go on a little fun adventure with Valkyrie and his ex-girlfriend from the first 2 Thor movies. And that alone was a good enough time for me. And I thought the screaming goats were actually kind of funny to watch. And it has some pretty cool visuals and it has some pretty cool action. I thought Christian Bale did a great job as the villain here, as this god killer, and Thor reunited with his girlfriend for the first time since I think the events of we last saw her in Thor: The Dark World was great too. And I thought they wrapped that chemistry, friendship, relationship up in a nice closure way. The Last Jedi. So continuing off from the massive hit of The Force Awakens, which I personally really liked. You know, some people say that movie was just a rehash of New Hope. Doesn't matter. But Rian Johnson took it upon himself and to go in a completely different new direction, never before seen before. So we have Luke Skywalker, who plays the more Logan type-ish character. We have Kylo Ren, you have Finn, you have Rey, all coming back and doing continuing their adventures, and Rey discovering mysteries about who she really is, and Kylo Ren stepping as our greatest new villain, and he has this connection with Rey as well. And I think all that alone was really great. I thought it was really well made, and I don't see why people thought that because The Force Awakens was such a rehash with New Hope and you wanted something different. Like, this movie has so much expectations, and I think people say that Rian Johnson threw it all out the window and just did his thing, his vision, his story, and people just hated it. Most divisive, polarizing Star Wars movie in history. At first it was the prequels that got a lot of hate, and people had this controversy about the sequel trilogy now with no setup, story direction. But I think The Last Jedi itself is a great movie for what it is, with our continuing characters, some of our previous characters from the original trilogy, and discovering who they really are, such as Rey, who is my favorite character of this whole continuity of continuation of Star Wars. Number 1, Transformers: The Last Knight. For years, ever since 2007, since I was kind of a kid, I think the Transformers franchise has been such a guilty pleasure for me. These live action films have got me into collecting Transformers for quite a couple of years. People really hate on Michael Bay as a director with his writing and type of humor, especially in these movies. You know, for a very long time, I have followed reasons why people despise this movie so much because of Michael Bay's directing and stuff. Like, he doesn't know Transformers, he's ruining Transformers. Now, as for this movie, I think it has some of the greatest CGI of designs of Transformers ever made. I think I like a lot some of the IMAX shots. I think Michael Bay must be a huge fan of IMAX camera work and stuff, and that was okay. That was kind of nice to look at. Some of the film is widescreen, some of it goes IMAX shot. So I think he's a really good genius at the way he shoots with his cameras. And say what you want about the Michael Bay Transformers films, they have tons of music that will give you goosebumps. They have great action, they have great sound effects, they have visual great designs with these characters. If you don't like the characters, then that's totally okay. But I think Optimus Prime, he will give me goosebumps in this movie. The movie is essentially around with the remaining Autobots from its predecessor, and Mark Wahlberg's characters have to lead the Autobots because Optimus Prime has been brainwashed into more Nemesis Prime, so it's up to them to bring Optimus back to his regular self and save Earth and Cybertron before domination. I would have liked to see what they were trying to set up with Unicron of this continuity, but now with the newer films, especially now with Rise of the Beast, they're trying to set up Unicron in a new kind of way. So Transformers: The Last Knight, I used to follow the hate about this movie. I thought if I don't say, oh, I don't like this movie either, I'm gonna get in big trouble. Well, that's completely behind me. I don't no longer give a care what anybody wants to say about any of these Transformers Michael Bay films. They will always be in my place in my heart. It's a guilty pleasure franchise, and that's all I'm going to say. So there we have it, guys. What did you all think? Are you happy to see this return of videos again? Let me know everything down below. Do you love these movies? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know down below and give your reasons why you feel the way you do. Thought I'd take a little break from the collection breakdown series and go back to a series I started quite some time ago. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more if you like what you see. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all later. Keep physical media alive. Peace out.